Hey, good morning, everybody. It is Thursday, May 7th, 2026. I, of course, am Hammer, founder of Hammer Solutions, home of great products that help originators get more loans from Google AI search and social media. Products like Originator Success, Grab and Go Social, and Rate Sensei. Awesome products that you should check out. The best products out there, the best products you've ever seen for helping mortgage originators build their brand online, get more business from Google and social media. Check those out. Remember, you can join me live each and every weekday morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, broadcasted to you on Facebook and on YouTube, where we talk about what's going on with rates and pricing each and every day. And we got some good news for you today. Today, we're going to talk about what drove things yesterday, what direction we're going as we head into next week. We got tomorrow's jobs data, and we'll talk about whether that's actually important or not. So should be a fun day. Remember, if you would like a text reminder that I'm going live so you don't miss a moment of the show, sign up at hmmr.io/reminder or use this cool QR code and we'll get you that. I am looking for something to stop my thing from going because that's tall enough. Not really. Okay. Well, sorry, y'all. I'll fix that later. Anyway, good morning. Let's see. My man Ron Siegel said my background earlier this week was more interesting. I don't care, Siegel. I have a beautiful background. But more importantly, what do y'all think of the new hat? This is it's a custom wrestler hat. One of a kind. I basically designed it with the hat person as she was making it. Her name was Lo. I went with a 4-inch brim. I usually do like a 3.5, like it usually a little bit smaller. But for this, I've got a little bit of a wider cap to it. So notice I don't have a hat band yet because I wanted something what I would call an exotic, like maybe crocodile or something cool, snakeskin, something. And they didn't have anything funky like that. They just had some boring ones, and they were overpriced, boring ones. So, but let me know. Hello, Amy and Zane. Let me know what you guys think here. That's right, Siegel. Size does matter, my friend. And this one is, I was able to add a little bit to the length. So check it out. What do you guys think, though? And what makes this hat different? A lot of my hats are soft hats with a wire rim. This is a 7X beaver skin, rabbit skin, and it's a stiff hat, But I don't like that cattleman crease. This is kind of a play on what they call a coffin crease, where it's in the shape of a coffin. But I do like to round mine down a little bit. It's not square with the mule kick, as they call it. I like to kind of round mine out a little bit. But yeah. Let me know what you guys think. This is my new dig. So it is a custom made hat just for me, and I'm liking it. I'm digging it. Again, it's a little wider than what I'm used to, but I think I rock it well. I think I can pull it off. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. So anyway, hello to all the rest of the live folks here this morning. Appreciate you being here. Let me get rid of Siegel's comment here, and let's get back to the good stuff. Let's go ahead and get started. Remember, if you're watching on the replay, do me a favor, give me #replay in the comments. Let me know that you were here. Don't forget to smash that like button, tag an hello friend. Your comments keep me going. They also help with the algorithm. Appreciate you doing that. So let's go ahead and get started. Talk about it. We got a lot to talk about today. So let's dive in and get to the good stuff. And we'll start off first by taking a look at the technicals. What you're going to see this morning at the technicals here as we take a look. We see that mortgage bonds are currently up. Oh, excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. No, thank you. I knew that one was coming. Anyway, we are up 17 basis points on the day, which is already a fantastic thing to see. 10-year Treasury yield continuing to drop 4.33. Let's go ahead and do a quick recap of what happened yesterday and talk more about that. If you look at this 48-hour chart. Again, everything for those that don't necessarily watch every day, everything in front of this dotted line, this is today, right? This is today. Everything to the left is yesterday. Okay, so we're looking at a 2-day chart here. And if we just look at this, it looks like it was a calm day. So if mortgage-backed securities go up, that's a good thing. That makes us smile, right? That makes us smile because that means you get better pricing. And if they go down, that's a bad thing. So looking at yesterday, when you look at it in this little tiny bubble, it looks like things were really kind of calm and boring. But if we do a 5 days, so now as you take a look, each one of these dotted lines is breaking it down. We've got, this is today. So today is Thursday, right? We got Wednesday, we've got Tuesday, we've got Monday, and then you got Friday. Okay. So as we go back through the last 5 sessions, even though it's 5 days, it's actually 5 trading sessions, we could see that yesterday, right here, we saw a huge jump up in mortgage-backed securities from where we ended the day on Tuesday. And things were, you can kind of see it here. They did improve just very gradually over the course of the day on Wednesday. So what this means is, this is why yesterday morning we saw a wonderful improvement to rate sheets. Things were good right out of the gate. Ended the day even a little bit better, although there really weren't really any reprices better. There were a couple. There were like 1 or 2, but there really weren't any reprices better. Lenders were still kind of trying to see where this goes. Once again, just to make sure we're clear why we're seeing this big improvement, why we have seen rate sheets that are going back down. Remember, we've been at like 6.56, 6.54. We dropped 10 basis points on rate sheets. You went down about 1/8 of a point to 6.44. The reason that we saw that yesterday, all of that was because of the news that broke early in the morning on Wednesday from Axios that the U.S. and Iran were close to a deal. All right. So that's why we saw that yesterday. Today, good news. We're going to see things continue to improve and could get even better than what we were seeing yesterday. Again, mortgage-backed securities currently starting the day, we're improved 12 basis points. If we take a look here, you got 12 basis points better. Look at where we're at yesterday. Pricing came out right about here. This morning, here we are up here. That is a nice improvement up for mortgage bonds. And what that means for your rate sheets is that you're going to see better pricing, better rates heading into today. So, and this is really, really timely because we were in a position last week where we were locking everything because it was just getting worse. And there was just no optimism at all that a deal was going to get done. That changed this week. We talked about that, how that could change and everything else would change with it. Last week, we saw the 10-year treasury yield go up to 4.44. It went up to 4.44. It was all the way up here. The 10-year treasury yield is different than mortgage-backed securities. For the 10-year treasury yield, we actually want to see that yield go down. And we've seen this right here. You could see a very, very nice drop down. Now, the 10-year treasury yield is testing support, technical support. We got the 25-day moving average here. Mortgage-backed securities also testing technical support here. Technical resistance here at the 25-day moving average, but I'm not really worried about that. This red line is the 50-day moving average, and you can see that is close to coming to converge. Again, I'm not too worried about the technicals. We will see bonds continue to improve as long as the headlines improve. When we want to see more headlines like this with the U.S. and Iran exploring short-term deal to end fighting, and more so than ending fighting, remember what we really need to see happen is we need to see the Strait of Hormuz open. And on Monday, Trump put out there, what was it? I called it Operation Freedom. It wasn't Operation Freedom. It was, let's see, Trump. What do you call it? What'd they call it, Ron? Trump, Strait Hormuz Operation Freedom. I know it's not Operation, though. What did he call it? Project Freedom. That's what he called it. Project Freedom. So Trump and Project Freedom, on Monday, he said the U.S. was going to help ships get out of the Strait of Hormuz. Because again, although we just see it as ships not moving, what you have to remember, there are ships that are actually stranded there. They're now running into issues where they don't have enough food on board. These were ships that were supposed to, have a long voyage, but the Strait of Hormuz has been closed for 2 months now since the end of February. And, so this is an issue. And you can see here, As we see in the headlines, Trump says operation to reopen Strait of Hormuz will be paused, and he said that a day ago. So, we're seeing improvement. We'll see even more when rate sheets open. Repressors today is moderate. Bonds will hold the gains as long as there's nothing that crushes the optimism around a deal with Iran. As long as we keep that. Anything closing in the next 15 days, you want to go ahead and continue cautiously floating. We want to give rate sheets an opportunity to continue to improve, as we're seeing here. Right now, today, and yesterday was 6.44. Today we should see like what you see 6.38, and we could continue to see even more improvement to get to like 6.32. So it's not that we're seeing rates that are dropping tremendously, but after seeing them move so much higher and testing, we were still below. We were still below where we were at back in March 27th. So if we take a look here, this was that high point for rates. This was March 27th. The good news is we were still below that right here, but we were definitely moving in the direction of getting high, even higher than that. So we've seen a nice pullback from rates in these last couple of days. It's what you see right here, this line dropping down. And we could continue to see this line come back down, put us back in position where we were at towards the end of April when we had a nice run of better rates and keep things going. So a little bit of volatility to keep you on your toes, but it is a great situation that's helping to bring things down. So keep that in mind. And tomorrow we've got the labor market data. We got BLS jobs data now. Ron has talked about that yesterday. He felt that we could see a strong jobs data tomorrow. But even if we do, it's only going to be a temporary hit. We could see it affect mortgage-backed securities. We could see, instead of a positive day, if we do see a strong jobs reading, it could be a little bit more negative. But it's only going to be a temporary thing, and it's not really going to derail the gains that we're seeing. As long as headlines continue to show that we are, building on these gains, we will be okay. So tomorrow, I would still float into tomorrow's jobs data. I'm not that worried about it. If you got something closing in the next couple of weeks and you're risk averse and you just want to get it closed, then go ahead and lock it. But otherwise, everything else is going to depend on these kinds of headlines. If we take a look here, their Fed Collins, the Boston president, Susan Collins, agreed with colleagues who dissented over wording in the Fed's post-meeting statement. Remember, we talked about that. But if you take a look at Fed futures and where things are headed right now, expectations, of a rate cut at the June meeting actually starting to tick up just a hair. More importantly, though, as we get later in the year, you get July, it's even more, September, October. By the time we get to December, there is a 10% play that we could see a rate hike on the table, but there's also a 16% chance of seeing a rate cut. So we want to see, as if that jobs data comes out tomorrow and it does show any kind of weakness, we'll see things improve with the idea of a rate cut. However, if it does come in strong, it's going to support the idea that despite Kevin Warsh getting in, and he's not in yet, he has to be confirmed by the Senate, but despite Kevin Warsh getting in for the new Fed chair, he's not just going to be able to get in and rally the other Fed officials to lower rates. And remember, Kevin Warsh cannot lower the Fed funds rate by himself. It's not a dial. He doesn't have more control. He only gets one vote, just like anybody else. What he does, what is different, is that the Fed chair has influence over others, and that's the idea. But he's going to be new. Powell will still be there, and more importantly, it's going to really depend on the data and where everything is. So let's see what you guys have to say and what comments you have, and then we'll get out of here today. So again, appreciate all the compliments on my lovely new hat. I'm going to go ahead and we'll go full screen. Let me know. Do you guys feel, again, you got to be honest with me. If you think it's too big, or you got to tell me. Got to tell me if I'm not rocking it. And again, I will be getting a cool hat band. I just have to find something that calls out to me. But Don't worry about being late, Tom Deadmore. Most importantly is tell me, what do you think of the new hat that I got in Nashville, my friend? And how do you think it? I think I rock that. I think, again, it's a little bit of a wider brim. I don't have a 4-inch brim. 3.5 is generally my brim size of choice. But I'm liking this. I'm liking this 4-inch brim. I think I pull it off. It's a little more Texas, a little more Montana when you have this cattleman style larger brim. So, but I think I pull it off pretty well. I'm happy with it. Ron Siegel said, looking at the technicals, look at those gaps that need to be filled. We'll take a look at those and see. Y'all are giving me compliments on my hat, which I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Anyone have any questions about almost an urban sombrero? I wouldn't know about sombrero per se. I wouldn't necessarily go that far, but does anyone have any? Morning, Austin. Does anyone have any questions about what's going on with rates and pricing? Again, as long as optimism remains, we could see things continue to improve. If the Strait of Hormuz does open to commercial traffic and we start to see oil continue to drop in price, gas prices start to come down, it's definitely going to build some momentum. And remember, though, when we see that, that's another reason why the Fed is not going to have to cut rates anytime soon. If people have more money to spend on disposable things rather than spending it on gas, that increases consumer spending, stronger economy, resilient economy. There's no reason to have to cut rates if you have a strong, resilient economy. So keep that in mind. Thank you, Miss Yasmin. She said, it's not too big and I carry it well. Segalov said, I look more aerodynamic. I can get to the bacon faster, my friend. It's always a good thing. So, all right. Well, it looks like we are good. And go Alicia Bowles for being live. Good to see you live. So thanks for joining us. So, all right, everybody, I'm going to wrap it up. We will tomorrow. Make sure you join me tomorrow morning. We're going to recap what happened through the rest of the day today. We will also, of course, be talking about how the jobs data comes out this morning. We'll see if Siegel is right. And if the jobs data does come out stronger than expected, if I remember correctly, they were looking for around 60,000 new jobs created. I think unemployment still looking for it to stay the same. If it does come out strong tomorrow. But I don't think it's really going to be much of a hiccup. Everything is still focused more on what's going on with Iran than what we see as far as our own domestic data. So we could see a small hiccup, but it wouldn't be a big deal. I don't think it's going to derail anything. I think we're good to float into it. So make sure you join me tomorrow. We'll talk about what happened, where we go, and we'll talk a little bit more as we head into rates for next week. We'll talk about what to expect heading into next week. So hope you're here tomorrow to have that conversation. I will see you then. Remember, if you would like to get signed up for the reminder that I'm going live so you don't miss the show tomorrow morning, it's hmmr.io/reminder. I send out a text message as I'm going live with the links on Facebook and YouTube so that you don't have to guess, and you could just click and log in and don't miss a moment of the show. All right, my friends, I will see you tomorrow. Make it a fantastic day. Bye-bye.